On July 18th, I spoke with Mathew Cardinal and Stephaine Kuse. Matthew Cardinal's Asterisms album has been making waves in ambient music circles since its release in 2020, calling to mind the gradual melodies of Brian Eno and the weightless flights of Fennesz. Mathew is also known for his work in nêhiyawak, the 2020 Polaris Prize nominated trio. Stephaine Kuse is a media artist and graphic designer who collaborates with Matthew Cardinal on his videos for Asterisms and will be performing live video art alongside Matthew's music at Wonderment this year. Mathew Cardinal and Stephaine Kuse will be performing in person at the Cameron Bandshell in Beacon Hill Park for Wonderment 2021 on Sunday, August 1st at 7:30 p.m.
My name is Stephaine Kuse. I'm a media artist and graphic designer from Saskatoon.
Hello, my name is Matthew Cardinal. I am a person that lives in Edmonton, Alberta, currently.
I'm gonna just dive right in here. How did the two of you connect and decide to collaborate together? Collaborative processes are really special, and it's really hard to find the right, person to do that with. So, how did this happen for you? How did it go?
I was trying to think of this the other day, and I was like, I don't remember. I kind of remember. Let me try. Correct me if I'm wrong. So, I had first met Adam, your partner, and that was a whole thing. It was in Denver, I think, was when I first met him. When my band was down there and his band was down there, and so I was coming through Saskatoon on tour, and I just stayed with you too. You might not even have been there the first time I stayed, but then I think I just had become aware of your work through Rihanna, seeing your work with Ray, and just around and staying with Adam a couple times, and I think I just sent you my music, and then one day just asked.
Yeah, we toured together in 2019, and then we started kind of collaborating on a few other things.
Yeah. I wanted visuals, so I asked you if you wanted to do a tour. So we booked a little tour last, 2019. That's nuts. I guess that's not last August anymore.
It feels like it.
It does, yeah. And then I got you to do all the music videos for my album, and now we just have a bunch of more stuff. We're doing more stuff.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up.
Okay, cool. Now you tell the same story.
Yeah, exact same story.
I want to hear your side.
Actually,
no.
I think he hit most of the main points.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Well, I'm gonna dig from that, and just I guess in a more performative sense, do you guys do a little bit of improvising together, or is that something that you've already sort of planned out what you're going to be doing, versus doing, say, like making visuals for videos, example?
Yep, there's room for improvisation. I think as Matthew and I continue to work together, there's a little bit more back and forth, and as we're developing the things that we're working on. And in terms of live performances, I come prepared with loops created with his music in mind, and then sort of apply. I mean, we haven't performed together since 2019, but this is our plan for our upcoming performance. So just going to come prepared with various loops, a set of visuals, and then basically follow the music throughout the set and react live to it.
Sweet. Okay, cool. Yeah, I was really curious about how you guys were rolling with that. Actually, I just I'm sorry, I'm pedaling back here, but how did that go? Was your tour cut short because of COVID, or did you guys just get in under the gun?
Sorry.
It was in August 2019, so we were in the clear.
Sweet. You just dodged that bullet. That's okay. I wanted to ask this, I guess, a little bit earlier, and I think I wonder, maybe I should bring it up later. Yeah, actually, I think maybe I will. I'm going to ask you guys both about, about your mediums and how you roll with it, and then I want to dig into like
Nice.
creative processes. But okay, Stephanie, let's start with you. Visual art is your medium, but you have frequently created visuals in collaboration with music. What is that meeting point between visuals and, you know, an audition?
Well, for me, I rarely work without an audio component. So I'm fortunate to have like a couple collaborators that I've worked with on an ongoing basis. But I just really appreciate having that source of inspiration, sort of a backbone. Like when working with time-based medias, it's nice to have like a little bit of structure and to like interpret that in a visual sense.
Cool, sweet. So do you more or less start based on the music, or do you like create for like just create your visuals first and then connect it to the music that you see fit? Or is it more of like the other way around?
For the most part, when I'm collaborating with somebody, it starts with the music, and then I think on that for a while and then create visuals and apply them to the track. There are instances where it's the opposite direction, and Mathew and I are working on an installation right now. And for that one, I sort of started with, I handed him over like a couple samples that I had been working on, so incomplete works. And then we talk about that, and now he's going to create audio for it, inspired by that, and then hand that back to me, and then I'm going to apply the visuals to the track. So lots of back and forth there.
Cool, sweet, very collaborative, very collaborative.
Yeah,
very cool stuff. Sweet. Okay, Mathew, your music moves through listeners. Smooth, gentle waves, dreamlike times. Do your dreams sometimes inspire your music?
Do my dreams inspire my music?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's a good question. May I guess no, but yes. I guess
you don't have to share secret dreams.
Yeah, secret dreams. I don't. Yeah, I don't think I could say there's like any specific recording I have that was directly inspired by any specific dream.
Okay, that's good. Is there specific things that do inspire your things besides dreams?
Just sounds, I guess. The instruments I play, I feel like are really inspiring to me. I think like just experimenting and playing with sounds will like get me to write melodies and create things. Yeah, I don't know. I think sound and instruments and interacting with them is inspiring for me, I suppose.
All right. Yeah. Well, I think based on the variety of analog synths that you're working with, I wouldn't be surprised. Is there one in particular that you'd like to, you know, chat about being your star, you know, collaborator in your
star collaborator synthesizer? I would say maybe there's a couple. I've got a Moog Rogue. It's like an old 80s monosynth that I learned synthesis on. That was like my first real synthesizer, and I just spent probably a few days in total playing on that thing, just learning it in and out, and that is all over my album. It's most of the bass sounds and most of the lead sounds, and I just like play it by hand. I don't use a sequencer with it or anything. It's just, I don't know, it sounds really nice to me. It's interesting. Just a little thing. Well, that's actually not that little. That's kind of clunky. But I use that quite a bit. And then, of course, I have a little modular synthesizer, which I use a lot. And that's what I play with live and tour with, just because it kind of it's built into a kind of suitcase, and it's kind of my own custom thing. I was able to design it to be able to do what I want to do live. So that is really nice, and that is also on my album a lot. And I think, yeah, those would be the two I use the most.
Right on, right on. Okay, well, when it comes to synthesis, I do immediately think of creative processes, or just being, you know, experimental, not in the generic term of like, this is experimental music, but like you're actually experimenting and you're creating a sound through, you know, that sort of trial and error process. Is that a part of your creative process?
It can be, yeah. I think some of my songs on my album were just born from just playing around, experimenting on the modular, because it's I'll have it completely unpatched, so I'll have to patch it from scratch and just kind of create the sound. And I like modular because it gives you so much more control. It's slower, but you get more control over the sound. It can really dictate what's going on, and you can also just do stuff you don't understand sometimes, and just like, why exactly is it sounding like this? And it can be just inspiring and fun, and I think that's a big part of it. A lot of I would say my album Asterisms is an album of unintentional music, in that there was no intention for those recordings going into them. It was just experimenting and playing around, and then I discovered something that I liked and then recorded them.
Nice. Yeah, I also appreciated seeing how you often use dates for your track titles. So I'm assuming that those are reflective of when these unintentional recordings basically happened.
Yeah. They're like that was kind of not on purpose at first. I just was doing that, and then after a while I was like, oh, I'm keeping a sort of audio journal, so I just kept doing that and decided that's what the album would be. And when I had enough recordings for an album, I was like, okay, I guess this is the album.
Sweet. Awesome. I really want to pull in Stephanie, if you have some unintentional or unintentionality in the, especially in your collaborative process, but I want to give you an opportunity to speak to your own creative process if you'd like to. Thanks.
Yeah, I would say in terms of the visualizers that I created for some of the tracks from Asterisms, those were based, that was all digitally manipulated video footage that I recorded throughout the summer. And I would say that my approach to that was inspired by Matthew's approach to his album. It was also visually inspired by his like nighttime flash photography. And a couple of the visualizers, especially the one for May 24th, was really unexpected, the way, because like I just like dragged my camera through grass essentially, and it just created this like very like strange macro sort of visual that kind of came in and out of focus and moved with the track. So yeah, I would say that a lot of my work also comes out of somewhat of an experimental process, and there's a lot of dead ends, but there's also a lot of like fun surprises.
It was really rad. I really appreciate knowing the very freeing approach that you guys have both taken in this particular stage of your artistic relationship. There's a lot to be said for saying I'm not really sure what to expect, and that's a lot of freedom, right? Mm-hmm. This is sort of connected to before, but I think it'd be fun if you guys maybe just went into it a little bit more deeply if you want to, or if there was anything else that you didn't get to mention before. But when you are working together, is it like a symbiotic conversation in a sense, where like there's a overlap, one influencing the other, rather than like being two separate entities functioning in the same space?
I would say as we move forward in our collaborative relationship, it is becoming like more conversational and back and forth. Like the foundation was it's driven by Matthew's music, and then it's sort of like my task to make visuals that suit that. And that's sort of how it's been for the last couple of years. And it's just now we're getting to the stage where there's a little bit more like back and forth, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Basically, yeah, it was just, I think, like when we went on tour, I don't even know what those visuals look like for the most part, because they're being projected onto me. So it was just trusting Stephanie. I'm, just being like, I like what Stephanie does. She'll figure it out. It'll be good, and I'll just play, and then she'll make the visuals. But yeah, now it's more back and forth. So I just said the same thing she said.
Sweet.
Well, it's good to know we're on the same page.
Yeah,
it's been confirmed now. Well, I think that what's great is just really learning how there is this element of, a little bit of an element of improvisation, but this conversational thing that's developing, but there's this trust that exists. I don't think we really need to talk too much about, how much improvisation does take place when you guys perform live together, because I think we've actually covered that more than I expected, which is really but I was wondering because I think there's a few things wrapped up in this, but at the Wonderment performance coming up, July 30th through August 2nd, this will be the first time in a while that there's been an in-person event, which is kind of exciting. And it is fun that the, venue spaces for these are primarily outdoors. So, I always like to think that, the environment often influences people no matter what, even if you're coming in and just playing what you would normally play. But, what are some things that perhaps people could expect? Not that you should give it all away, but what sort of things have informed you in getting prepared for this performance, it being in person after quite a while, and just, the sort of unique environment that you'll be in?
Matthew, do you want to go first?
I saw the thinking finger.
Well, that's a very good question. And honestly, I have no idea. I'm still kind of getting ready, and I've just been doing lots of experimenting and playing around. I did play my first show in front of people, I think just over a week ago, and that was interesting. Yeah.
How'd it feel?
Good. It was energizing to be around people for, I don't, it's been so long since I was actually around multiple people, like where it was outside, and it was just, so it was wild. And it was good to see people. I saw some people I hadn't seen since before the pandemic started. So it was nice. So I'm just figuring it out, and I may be as surprised as you are.
Sweet. I love it. I'm into it. So into it. Are you in the same sort of space, Stephanie?
Well, I feel like I have a pretty good idea of what the visuals are gonna look like. They're gonna be based off of the visualizers that we did together last summer. Over the pandemic, I learned 3D rendering software, so I'm now producing quite a bit of material with that, and so I'll be incorporating that into the set, but it'll still be like informed by the work that we've done together. Just sparkly, natural textures, washes of color.
Sweet. Awesome. Well, I think either way it's gonna be really cool, and when you already have such an awesome situation going on, awesome relationship of creativity and art, it's gonna be really rad and not something to miss.
Yes, very excited.
Yeah.
This is always a tricky one, but sometimes, and last little while I've been getting some really cool responses, so I don't feel so guilty about dropping this one. But if I have missed anything that you would like to comment on, any final thoughts, feel free to just unload now at this point.
I feel like we've covered lots.
Yeah,
I think those were good questions.
Good questions. I mean, we're doing Wonderment. We're playing music. I guess I'll probably play some music from my album and some other stuff. And did we mention, Stephanie and I are also having an installation at Open Space during the time of the festival.
Oh, fantastic. That's great. So, and that, because I would imagine there's projection-oriented stuff going on with that as well. And
yes.
Do you want to talk a little bit about what you're doing in there too, Matthew?
I'm just making music. It's just gonna be some music. Just some gentle, sparkly stuff. Very influenced by the visuals. We'll see.
I really appreciate how wonderfully, down to earth you guys are. Super. This has been great. Sparkly stuff. The phrase that sticks with me this entire week, sparkly stuff.
Nice.
Okay, unload all of your social media links, whatever they are. I don't anticipate, there having to be thousands of them, but you know what I mean, for folks to, latch onto and quickly follow and all that stuff to be informed.
Okay. It's like, you gotta say them?
Yeah, you gotta say them.
Oh no. You can I don't like you can just Google me, I think.
Yeah, you're easy to find. Both of you are pretty easy to find. But in case people want to know, like, if you have a funny spelling of your Instagram handle.
Yeah, what is it? My Instagram?
Exactly. What is it? I don't know anymore.
My Instagram handle is Mathew Lily. Oh, blah, blah. My Instagram handle is Mathew Lilliput. And yeah, and then other ones you can just search for me. I think I have a Facebook page for my music. It's just like Mathew Cardinal Sound.
Right.
What, is that funny?
No. I think that what's funny is in all the interviews I've been doing lately, people are like, I have this Facebook page. I don't use it, but I have a Facebook page. And they're like,
Facebook pages are really weird. I feel like Facebook makes them less visible, so people will pay for people to see them.
Yeah.
And it's like I get almost no interaction on my Facebook page. If I just post it on my main account, I get like 20 times more people liking stuff.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, it's kind of weird. Facebook's kind of weird. Instagram's probably the best place to follow me, to figure out stuff I'm doing. Yeah, I think that's probably the best place to find things for me. What about Stephanie?
I'm on Instagram at SCKUSE, and my website is www.sckuse.net.
Awesome. Sweet. Thank you. And it's been wonderful chatting with you guys. Like, sincerely, you're really fun people.
Yeah, good to chat with you too.
Yeah, you too.
I'm looking forward to all the sparkly stuff coming up. Wonderment.
There's going to be lots of it.
Yeah.
So many sparkles.
Thank you, Mathew and Stephanie, for chatting with me. Your collaborative creativity is beautiful. Catch Mathew and Stephanie Sunday, August 1st at 7:30 p.m. for Wonderment at the Cameron Bandshell in Beacon Hill Park.